Hello YouTube, this is Yorick and welcome to my Magic the Gathering pre-release primer for M15. As opposed to a regular set review, this video will mainly focus on synergy rather than the individual power level of a single card. With that being said, let's dig right in with our number one suspect, Yisan, the Wanderer Bard. At base stats, he isn't too shabby, being a 2/3 for 3 mana, but that's obviously not why you're playing him. His ability, being instant speed and putting the creature onto the battlefield rather than into your hand, adds a lot to the card's value. If you're playing with Yisan, you have to have a good recollection of what's in your library. But also, when you're playing against him, you have to know what your opponent is capable of. If possible, when playing with Yisan, you should try to hide your second color or maybe even third color as long as possible, so your opponent will be hard pressed to narrow down your options. Also note that Perilous Vault's ability is also at instant speed, so if you use it in response to a Yisan's activation, you'll end up with a creature on the battlefield and your opponent obviously having none. Combining Yisan with Reclamation Sage and Roaring Primal Dogs will give any aura/enchantment deck a run for its money. Then there's the Slivers. Unfortunately, there are only 2 playable Slivers in this set, though the 2 that are playable work very well with their land, the Sliver Hive, and of course Mercurial Pretender can become a copy of Constricting Sliver, exiling 2 creatures. Then there's another creature like Yisan, Jalira. Though each color in the set has an ability to make tokens at a fairly cheap rate, they're all in the rare section, so getting them and Jalira won't be an easy task. Raise the Alarm and Coral Barrier, however, are commons and are a good way to support your Jalira deck. Once again, as with Yisan, this ability can be activated and subsequently responded by Perilous Vault to end up with a creature on the battlefield. As for the auras in this set, while Stab Wound is obviously a very good removal spell, if you want the main reasons to include Helios Pilgrim into your deck. While I'm normally not such a fan of putting auras on your own guys, the Spectral Ward is actually pretty good because unless you cast it into a removal spell, once enchanted, the creature can only be harmed by one of 6 rares in this set. And then there's the Gimmick deck, the blue-red artifact hit them for 5 4 times over dot deck. While it's highly volatile, it's of course not a great strategy to get you into the finals, but if you manage to smash your opponent in the first game, it might be an idea to board out your Ensoul artifact in Ornithopters and hope your opponent will overreact by including 2 naturalizers. Then there's Warden of the Beyond. Being a 2/2 vigilance at the base cost of 3 mana isn't too great, but considering there are 2 very good ways to exile cards and the third one being situational in Pillar of Light, this card can actually be quite good. Barring that your opponent is casting Act on Impulse, you will need a sufficient number of Devouring Lights and or Dissipates to justify running this card. Thanks for watching. If you like the content or have any questions, please leave a like or comment down below. This was Yorick. Until next time.